Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Movieclips Instant Trailer Review Show. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Andy.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are reviewing the new Thor, The Dark World trailer. Actually, it's not the new one. It's the only one. The first one.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Thor, The Dark World. Andy's our new intern. We had him battle to the death with Jacob, and he came out on top.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm a huge fan of Thor.
I like that movie.
Only second to the amount of fandom that my significant other girlfriend has for Thor.
You mean Chris Hemsworth?
No, I mean just the movie Thor. She's
Oh,
just
really?
in love with it.
Does it have to do with Chris Hemsworth?
I think it has to, yeah, somewhat.
Do you want to get a group of guys to get him together? Go get him?
You can't stop Thor.
No, you can't.
This
Anyway,
looks awesome.
so this is weird. They're flipping over an oil tanker.
Now, remember Thor?
Now, if you look,
Thor
though,
says
it
that
actually looks more like a cement truck, doesn't it?
it's a cement truck.
If you look, though, the cement part is the only part not rotating,
Well,
which
'cause
means that
everything
even though
else
they
is
have this
rotating.
magical power, the cement is still going to harden. So, what good is that?
It's actually it actually is rotating. It's just an optical illusion because the truck
Well,
is
it's like,
rotating around.
I know, it's like the way the moon rotates.
But remember,
the same way-
Thor says that they come from a place where magic and science are the same.
Yeah.
Where on Earth, magic and science are two different things. So,
Unfortunately for Natalie Portman, staying in a movie and being contractually obligated are not the same.
now I don't know why everyone's giving Natalie Portman some grief for this movie.
I love Natalie Portman.
Because I loved her in the first movie.
But there was
This is really intense. I don't know what.
there was a little bit of
here.
on-set or behind-the-scenes tension because she wanted Patty Jenkins to direct it. Patty Jenkins left, and then Natalie Portman was like, "I'm out of here," and Marvel was like, allegedly.
The weird thing is that this has happened 3 times in the past year with Marvel, where a director had creative differences with Marvel and ended up leaving the project because of that.
Well, they can't all be as easy as Favreau, I guess.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes,
I
Marvel is a
don't
very
know
good
what
place to
this
work.
thing. This is just
Now,
awesome.
yeah, apparently.
This is basically a giant record player.
Yeah, England
on
is being
planet Earth, and
attacked
it's
by a giant record.
the needle.
But this
of
is
the
the
record
first
player.
kind of
And it's playing
view we
some
get
beautiful music of destruction.
of the new the new magical stuff.
Yeah.
Because apparently a lot of this movie takes place
I'm gonna
in
go
different
out,
realms.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that's France.
Is it France?
I'm just going to look at the architecture.
All right, Jimmy's saying France. It's probably something very. Hold on, we just got to say that was Kat Dennings, who's in the first one. It's our first view of
That's
her.
right.
The lovely Kat Dennings. I don't know her personally, but I like her work. I know Kat Dennings is not French. So there's Thor. There he is. Now look at how loaded this look is. They're just looking at each other. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time they've seen each other probably
Have you
since
noticed
since the Avengers.
They were in a
I bet.
crowded
This
place.
is like coming home from war look.
Yeah, they were in a crowded place. Now they're the only two because they
Well,
emotionally
these are
they're
two
the
different
only
places.
two.
They're not, they're not actually looking.
You're telling me he just lands in the middle of nowhere?
Well, that's like a warehouse, and the other one has like
What's
you
she
know,
doing there?
columns and stuff.
But look, they play it like it's a.
Well, now
they get
they're together. Yeah.
And then he's like,
See, that's the same place.
So there are people,
There are
but
people.
not when they're looking at each other.
Kat Dennings.
That's love. I'm hoping. I'm not kidding. Part of me is hoping that this movie is like a romantic, like, relationship movie because they're realizing they're from different worlds and like, can they make it work?
Okay, well,
You know?
what we're about to get into, there are three
Yeah.
different storylines.
They should have gotten Joe
There are
Swanberg
three different
to direct.
storylines that involve Jane Foster and Thor in the comics.
Okay. So we're
But
going canon.
all of
now.
them,
We're talking
all
about
of
canon.
them, more or less,
See,
have-
that's the line.
all of them more or less have one similar theme, which is that Jane Foster goes to Asgard and is bestowed with the knowledge and power of the gods. So not only, so she's given like this godlike status.
By proxy.
Yeah. No, but by Odin. Odin bestows this upon her.
Well,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
it's not a proxy isn't a person.
So okay, so there's 3 different scenarios from here though. One is that she is stripped of her power, sent back to Earth, and she falls in love with a doctor
Some guy.
who basically is a lookalike Dead Ringer for Thor.
Whew. Now that's interesting
Yes,
from a relationship standpoint.
and she's like under a curse, and she can't like realize it. The other is that she and Thor alter ego. Thor has an alter ego called Dr. Keith Kincaid. Not kidding. Keith Kincaid and Thor are having this love triangle with Jane Foster. She's got to figure out
Oh god.
Which one's which?
which one's which, and she finally tells him, "I'm in love with the other."
Does
He's
she
like,
have to
"But
make a
guess what?
decision?
You've been in love with both of us." No,
Yeah.
they're one and the
Now
same.
let me ask you a question. Now I'm just gonna. This is just a hypothetical and comment about this in the comment section because I'm very curious. If you had an alter ego, and you were in a love triangle with your alter ego, and the girl,
It's like a secret identity.
yeah, the maybe not necessarily the girl, the other counterpart in the love triangle was like, Jimmy, I'm in love with the other one. Even though that's you, would you
Ooh.
still be hurt?
Yeah.
I
No,
would be.
I wouldn't.
Oh, I absolutely would.
Because
mean,
she's
yeah.
been in love with the other me the whole time.
But is that the real you? Which one's the real you? You know? Is she just in love with the doctor because he's
Yeah.
like a noble profession?
No,
And she's
she's
like,
in
how
love
long
with-
does this
she's in love
Viking
with
thing
Thor, too.
last? What are you going to do with that hammer in 60 years?
She's in love
Yeah.
with the you that isn't you.
Whoa.
All right. Well,
so what's,
anyway,
what's
the
the problem
third
with you? You
Then
know?
you
third
get
and
an
fi-
identity?
The third and final
Yeah,
scenario
well.
is that Jane Foster is sad. Well, we got to pause right
Oh,
there.
sorry.
That's the important piece of this puzzle. Jane Foster is like in a suicidal state.
Incredibly
Well,
sad.
I
because
don't
she's
think that's the
she's
direction
been
they're gonna
sent.
go.
She's been sent back to Earth, and Sif right here, who is
Played by
Thor's,
Jamie Alexander.
Thor's long lost childhood love,
Wow.
who has been reunited with Thor, and Odin is saying, "You got to marry this chick."
Oh.
And
damn.
Jane Foster's about to die, and Sif merges her soul with Jane Foster's,
So I find
which is looking to me like it's going to be the most plausible scenario.
I find it unfair that Jane Foster has to choose between one person in different identities, and Thor has to choose between no one when there's two people involved.
Well, Thor has to make the ultimate sacrifice in this movie.
Which is that he has to fall in love with both
I mean, here
women.
we see. I mean, I think something
Oh,
really
something
seriously
looks
wrong
bad.
is going to happen to Jane Foster because
God.
she's been asked. It said the plot synopsis says she's going to have to make the ultimate sacrifice to do what is right for the good of the many,
Whoa.
not just for the good of himself.
Okay, so there's some of the also new tech. That looks like it corresponds with what crashes in England,
Yeah,
France.
definitely. Now I'm really excited to see some
Also
of the other
looks like a
worlds.
Cylon ship.
It does kind of look like a Cylon, but that's neither here nor there. I'm very excited to see some of the worlds because I loved one of my favorite set pieces on Thor was when they went to the ice giants.
The frost giants.
Yeah, the frost giants.
That was
They
rad.
said that Thor 2 is going to be based more in like right there in the forest.
In, like, Viking.
Like
It's
the
gonna be
really
more-
organic Viking feel
more-
instead of like the science fiction-y feel.
More elemental,
Yeah,
if they will.
if you will.
I think that's the word that Andy the intern used.
Odin.
That was good. That was a good addition. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, there's a lot more like big battles in this. The first one, it's like he battles Loki on the Rainbow Bridge,
Yeah.
and they fight some frost giants. But and back there, it looks like the Eye of Sauron is possibly involved. I don't know. Is that in canon?
I don't know. No, it's kind of tough.
Renee
There's
Russo
Renee Russo
back?
Yeah,
Thank
she's
God.
back, yeah.
I
Thor's mom.
actually very much like Renee Russo. Hopefully, in this one, Anthony Hopkins is not in Odin sleep the whole movie.
No, he won't be.
Good.
So there's Sif again. Fighting
Now,
alongside.
Sif is in this. Also, Fandral, who's one of the three that Thor is like really friends with, was no wait. Is that true? I'm sorry. That may
No,
not
that's-
actually be accurate. Is that accurate?
I think that's right.
Sorry. If it's not accurate, just make fun of me down there. But Fandral, the actor had to drop out because he's on the show Once Upon a Time, and they replaced him with their
yeah.
original choice, who's Zachary Levi from Chuck,
There you
who's a
Yeah.
very, very charming actor. I'm excited to see him in a role like this.
You can hear him talking about like what you believe.
Who's that bad
sacrifice?
That
Yeah,
bad
no.
guy, I believe, is played by Chris Eccleston, and his name is very, very Norse. Give me a second. Keep talking. Oh, it's Malekith the Accursed.
That's quite a name. Yeah, go back a little bit because this is where we really. I think this
You
is
have
going to be the
controls.
biggest, kind
Oh
of
my.
decision of the movie, the crux of the plot,
Yeah.
if you will.
Oh, should he save Jane Foster or just wait until she combines
Because
with
I
the
mean,
other
like,
girl he likes?
it looks no, because it seems to me like he has the ability right now to either defeat this guy or save Jane Foster. But it's either or.
Yeah.
I think.
It's gonna be like a Batman Forever like situation.
Every movie's called Dark, too.
Yeah.
Now, that voiceover.
Dark World, Into Darkness.
Now this is the payoff of the trailer. This is the big thing.
Okay. When we start.
Now I didn't know that they cast Eddie Vedder in this movie.
Yeah.
But it was really exciting
He
to
is
see
so
him.
creepy looking. Oh my gosh.
So, Tom Hiddleston will return as Loki.
That I'm
So they
sorry.
tied
I
back
love
into
Tom
Avengers.
Hiddleston. I like Loki as a character. But when you see those luscious locks, And then they cut to Tom Hiddleston's hair. It looks ridiculous.
Well, I mean, look, the guy's he's a little...
I know, but, like, that's a little
disheveled.
overkill, don't you think?
Now, they don't really touch on it in the Avengers, but Loki, this is actually not Loki's true form. He really is a frost giant. He's a frost giant shapeshifter.
Whoa, Jimmy.
In case you don't remember.
I do remember, because he'd do things in Thor, and they found out that he was adopted.
Yeah.
And he's
actually he's a baby frost giant, right.
Anthony Hopkins wanted to answer for himself, but he was in Odin's sleep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think...
I really like the first Thor. I know that people have problems with it. I've talked to them this morning. I think it's a really fun movie.
I'm a big fan of this trailer. I'm a big fan of Loki.
Now, I'm going to say, as a trailer, I'm not a huge fan. Pros of the trailer...
I give it thumbs up.
Pros of the trailer is that I like the footage. I like the world.
Okay.
Cons of the trailer is that I don't think the trailer is very necessarily well put together.
Okay. Andy, what say you?
I mean, I'm on the same page as Ryan. I think it looks good, but I don't know.
I'm excited to see it. I like the characters.
Now, I'll say this, pros of the trailer, it's the first look of this film. I'm excited for it. I think the destruction looks a lot better because one of the things that I did have a problem with in the first Thor movie is that it's such a small scale. I mean, it's based in this town outside in New Mexico, and it's just I mean, you can tell the town was actually like a set. Yeah, because it's like 20 feet wide by 50 feet long. Yeah, it's like the tiniest little thing. So the stakes don't really seem too high there for me. But I think the importance of the first Thor movie cannot be overlooked.
Because Loki is the
Loki is the linchpin in the Avengers movie. So, I mean, right. I mean, it really sets up a lot for the Marvel universe, and there's a lot of things about the Avengers that couldn't have happened without Thor. So.
And we're moving into phase 2 of the Marvel universe, and a lot of these movies, as Andy said, they're kind of losing directors, but they're getting new directors for the sequels, which is kind of cool because it means that the phase 2 might have a completely different feel than phase 1, and Joss Whedon will be kind of the thing that brings it all together, and I mean, unifying force.
I know that Disney now owns Marvel and all that stuff, but I am truly hoping that with their recent acquisition of Lucas, they treat kind of Star Wars in a very similar way, where you have, and I think from the sounds of it, it sounds like they're going to have the big tentpole Avengers type episode movies, followed by the bit player like Han Solo story, Boba Fett story, whatever. Whether those are prequels or sequels or new original films, I hope they kind of take some of that. I like what they're doing. I'm excited about the movie. Not crazy about the trailer, but I'm glad that I learned a lot from you, Jimmy, here talking about it. So I bet. Hey, audience, I bet you did too. So comment below. Let us know. What do you think? Are you excited about Thor: The Dark World? Do you think it's a good trailer? If someone chose your alter ego instead of you, would you be hurt or just happy? I'm still going. I'd be really hurt. Yeah. Be pretty dead. My alter ego would be okay. By the way, I just want to point out one thing. I know you didn't see him in the trailer, but that old dog, Stellan Skarsgård, he'll be back. So don't you worry. Is he in it? He's back. Thank God. I love him. I love him too. The Avengers, man, great guy. Great. Super excited. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Ryan. I'm Andy. I'm Jimmy. See you next time.